All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13, as we're preparing to get around for our 19th round of XRL X2's division here at USA. It was a full wet weather race in the X3 event. What can we see here for X2? That is the question. Here we are, loading onto the circuit, 15 cars. So everyone here will advance to the next round qualifying automatically. They just need to get a lap in. We're anticipating a full green race, a full dry race for today. Sweden, first driver out on track in this session. Robbie Deasy also takes the track early on medium tires. Again, 15 drivers, actually 14, we're short one. 14 drivers mean that everyone can just go ahead and set a time. They'll be automatically locked into the next round qualifying, no issue. Just don't crash the car. So here's some interesting things to take note of in today's event. In the Manufacturers Championship, Alfa Romeo's lead has stayed stagnant since Veloce has been kicked from the series. This is the first time since Veloce that we have a moderately competent, I should say very competent, but we have a competent driver in that car. That will be Zola. So Zola will try and bring home some points for Alfa Romeo to extend their lead at the top of the championship. Alpine has entries, though. So Alpine will still be trying to run them down. Davis Dawn is here with us. Third is Haas, and Haas still has Shredder in there. So they could still maybe close in on second. McLaren has no entries. They're 10th in manufactured points. They have no entries. Williams has some entries, though. Airmax and Samuel Pedia, and Airmax is with us in today's race. Here comes Davis Dawn out into the track now. And the first driver to cross the line is going to be Sweden. We're about to see him do so here as Sector 2, 104.046. Yeah, Luke is the only permanent driver for Alfa Romeo, and he has not earned a single point all season long. Edgar is the only driver for AlphaTauri, and he's only, well, one of only 2 drivers for AlphaTauri, and he's only earned 2 points all season long. Edgar has earned the majority of that team's points this year. That is why they are in a two-way fight between themselves and Red Bull. Red Bull has the advantage right now. Sweden sets the first time of the day, 135.496 on the medium tire compound. The next driver across the line will be this man here, Robbie Deasy. For Haas, we see Shredder. He's invalidated this lap, so he'll have to go again a little bit later. Zola is on an out lap, so it will be Shikari who'll be the next driver to set a time here, but he's invalidated. What we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and ride silently on board for a lap with Jabez John on the Alpine, see what he can make happen here. Yep, on board for a lap silently with Jabez John around COTA on medium tires. I think most of the field's going to be on medium tires because there's no need to burn up softs here in Q1. And that is on board with Jabez John for a lap around here at COTA. 137.323 on the medium. Shredder set his time on the softs, 136.230. Does not seem like he is going to be very competitive in today's race, considering that he wasn't even close to the top, despite being on softs. Edgar has gone around. I didn't expect that to happen, but Edgar has gone ahead and spun in the 16, 17, 18 complex. The lap is still technically legal, so he can still cross the line and it would be good. But again, Edgar's only taken home 2 points this entire season. Shikari and Torpedo will be the next drivers to cross the line with new flyer laps put down. Coming down to the last two corners for Sha'Carri on this lap. Big twitch at 20, but he'll set a time of 138.986. Air Max's time was 157.432, but again, that's good enough to get through. Not going to be an issue. Torpedo, next one to cross the line. He's invalidated this lap. So we'll go to CMP Official to be the 8th driver to set a time in the session on mediums. And he goes around in the exact same way that Edgar did in 16, 17, 18. Not to mention he's low on fuel, so I'm curious if he's going to commit to another flyer or if he'll just stick with that and then coast the car slowly around afterwards. Nope, he is going to go for another flyer later. Torpedo set his best first sector. Pelly, your points leader, more than likely going to be champion by default unless Jabascan really pulls out some crazy magic from his hat. There aren't very many races left, and while Jabascan is still within mathematical contention, he needs Pelly to completely collapse, while John needs to do nothing but finish podium or stronger on average to the end of the season. Or, of course, if Pelly misses some races, that would help John a bit, but... And Pelly sets a 35.876. It's the second best time we've seen thus far today. Still waiting on Torpedo to get his lap in. Invalidated his first attempt, so this is his second run at it. Low on fuel, ERS burning up, but I think he'll be able to set it this time. As the Alpine of, I believe, exits the spot ahead of him. Yeah, it is exits the spot ahead of him. Torpedo finally sets a time, 35.060. That's on worn tires, mind you, so we could see faster from Torpedo. Edgar on another flying attempt, as is X. They both just need to get laps. Don't need to be great laps. They just need to set laps, and they will advance by default. Only 14 drivers here, so... What is that? Was that Edgar who spun again? Yes, it is. Most of the drivers who've already set laps are retiring in the pits because they know they're fine. Come on, Edgar, just commit to this. Don't need to do anything great. X goes to the top on the soft, compounds with 35.006. And now we see Edgar finally get a time of 45.469 in, so they're going to advance. Rim is in the middle of the lap. His teammate Arctic Prodigy is still in pit lane. We also need CMP Official to finish his lap as well. Official has just begun this run. Alright, here comes Rim. Out of the final corner, the Ferrari will set a time in the 35s with a 35.574. Official has invalidated this lap, so he's going to have to go around another time to get a lap in. Kind of a silent moment on the track, not a whole lot of active stuff going on right now. Still waiting on Air Max and Official to get their proper laps in, and time is clicking away. Now, Official has attempted, Arctic has not yet come on track for a proper run at it, though. Right now, Shikari on track, and now Official has finally come out onto the circuit. Alright, here we go. Official finally getting his lap underway. Arctic Prodigy will not attempt the lap in the first round of qualifying, though. Official just needs to make sure not to total the car. Shikari, interestingly enough, went 8 laps on a set of mediums, so he is practicing a actual in-race stint. Onto the back straightaway now. Big slide from behind. Alright, down the last 2 corners. Official will cross off with 136.9. And we'll advance to the next round. So now things will finally start getting interesting. 14 drivers fighting for 10 spots. Alright, now we get underway properly. CMP official still has medium tires equipped on his car. I'm curious who is going to be the first one out. Sweden was the first one out in the prior round. I'm seeing movement, though, from official. But it is the Haas of Shredder who will be the first one out again. So about 2/3, actually closer to 3/4 of the grid out on track right now. Air Max, Rim, Torpedo, and Prodigy, the only 4 cars still on pit lane right now. As Shredder begins his lap, he'll set the time that everyone is going to be gunning for. But we are going to go ahead and ride on board with the Red Bull of Shikari and see what a flying lap looks like from Shikari's perspective on board with him. All right, and Sha'Carri goes to the top with a 34.150. Official set his lap 36.795 on a set of mediums with low fuel. He will likely have to go out again because he is a second and a half off of Shredder's pace right now. Next driver across the line will be Edgar, and he invalidates. And no, that is John, who has had a spin in the 16, 17, 18 complex. So right now, it is exits the spot, and Zola, who are the next drivers, poised to set laps. But X is going extremely slow. I think he's backed out this lap, and he's going to go for a flyer shortly here on his following one. Out of the final corner comes Zola, 135.565. The Alpines did not have an initial good flyer, but both Jabus and X are trying to improve right now. I'm curious to see where X lost all of his time, what sector it was in. Because he must have had enough time to start loading up the fuel. Fuel light's loading up the ERS. Fuel light is flashing though, so he's only going to get this shot, and then he'll be going very slow afterwards to try and make it back to pits. Already up by 6 seconds in the S's alone, so it seems to me that he probably made a mistake in the S's. Now, whatever it was, it didn't invalidate, so I'm guessing it was just a normal spin. The car is the lightest it's going to be. Potentially too light, but we'll see. Airmax also on a lap right now. He comes across the line, 35.050. That's the third best time thus far. So right now, X is on the bubble. He's 6 seconds up going down the back straight as well. So there must have been even more time that he lost here in the twisties. Probably from backing up trying to recover ERS. Is he going to commit? I think he should. Honestly, I think he needs to commit to this lap. I don't know how much time is left, but he's not going to have a whole lot of extra sets of softs left. Yeah, he's going to commit. This will be his lap. And then it will be a very, very slow in-lap afterwards. Across the line, 134.379. That puts him at second. Great job. Torpedo's on his lap now. His teammate Sha'Carri is at the top. What can Torpedo do? Arctic Prodigy also has finally come out on track. He did not even attempt in Q3. But he's going for it now. Big twitch in the S's there for the Ferrari driver. His teammate Rimso is still in pit lane right now. Arctic coming up on Jabus John, who is on his extremely slow cooldown lap as John is basically out of fuel. He's going to have to make it to the line on just ERS power alone. Oh, and Prodigy spins in the 16, 17, 18 complex. He's able to get back going, though. The lap is still legal, but he will not advance if he has another spin like that on his flyer. He is going to bring it into the pits. Probably bring on another set of tires. And he needs to get that ERS recharged. Edgar still needs to get a lap in. Right now, CMP Official is on the bubble with Jabus John on the outside looking in. John needs to turn this result around. He improved only up to a 144.795. He needs to get better than that by a significant amount. And the Ferraris have yet to set their laps. I'm honestly shocked that wasn't invalid, but Edgar abandons the lap again. So the focus is on John. John is on an outlap at the moment. Also, Torpedo very nearly missed making it into the pits, and Shredder is trying to improve his time right now. He feels pressure of not advancing. He's down in Sector 1. Taking the use of every inch and every bit of the track available. Go flag Sector 3, that is DZ. Not sure what happened to him there. He is now beginning his lap, though. Both of them feeling pressure of maybe not advancing to the next round. Arctic Prodigy on another outlap. And John still trying to make something happen. Okay, Shredder, I don't know why you burned a set of rubber for no reason. Both Ferraris on track, but I'm more interested in what can Davis John do here. Going through the last 5 corners, coming out of 15 now into the 16, 17, 18 complex. Out 20. To the line, John, 134.770. So official is out, and Zola is on the bubble. And the Ferraris are still a wild card. And that is Torpedo, who is reacting, feeling pressure. Arctic now begins his lap. He spun on his prior attempt. There's enough time for about 2 good shots at this for Arctic if he has the fuel for it. Might be good enough for him. Out of the final corner is Arctic. Across the line, 35.5. He's 10th. Zola is out now. But Zola, Official, and Edgar all on outlaps. Rim, his Arctic's teammate, is going to try and squeeze him out. So it looks like only one Ferrari will have a shot at making it into the next round. Rim keeps the car together. Oh, and Arctic's had a spin way off circuit, and the S is on his cooldown lap. No damage to the car, but any chance he had of saying another fast lap is over. Rim knocks out Prodigy now. But Zola, who has invalidated this lap, is rushing the line to get another lap in. CMP Official is rushing to the line to get another lap in And Official will likely improve because he says initial lap on mediums, he's going to do this one on softs. And Edgar, who has not set a lap yet, despite coming close several times before, needs to get a lap in. He is the wild card. I think more than likely Official is going to knock Rim out. Granted, he would need to improve by 1.3 seconds, but I think Official has that in the tank, going from medium to soft compounds. He's up by not quite a quarter in the first sector. Hairpin corner. And he's out of that. Curious what the top speed is going to be for this Mercedes. 95, 198. Only 200. How much is he up at the end of Sector 2? Not quite 2/3. Official needs to find more time. Edgar sets a time in 36.436. That will not be enough to get him in. So it is Zola and Official versus Rim. Prodigy will not get another shot at this. Maybe Official's not fast enough, in which case the focus would go to Zola. He improves, but not by enough. Here comes Zola out of the final corner. Is he in? Yes, he is. The Ferraris are out. And Torpedo has invalidated this lap, but he is safe. And this will bring us to an end in this session. Or not? No, Arctic is still on the lap, apparently. He just doesn't have any fuel or ERS to do anything with it. So neither Ferrari makes it out of the second round of qualifying. Neither will Edgar, and neither will CMP Official. So that will bring us to an end here. Man, we're running a long ways behind, though. So right now, the top 8 are all within 9/10 of each other. Shredder and Torpedo, 9/10 a little bit farther out. But of note, Shredder and Shikari only went out and really set a single lap. Shredder did go out a bit later for another lap that looked like it would be a small amount faster, but then aborted. All right, here we are. Be a little bit interesting to see who the first one out is. Last time it was Shredder. The time before that was Sweden. I know both of them, back from Rain Forza with them both. And it's going to be the Aston Martin, actually, of Sweden by the looks of it. By a significant amount, will be the first one on circuit. 11.5 minutes to go. And it takes you about a minute and a half, actually a little bit more than a minute and a half, to get one flying lap in along. And then, so you calculate about a minute and a half in, a minute and a half out, a minute and a half flyer. Then we'll add 15 to that. So that'd be 4 minutes and 45 seconds for the entire thing. Maybe a minute to transfer over. That'd be 5:45. You are probably only going to get 2 flying lap attempts here. So Robbie Deasy, Davis Dom, Aeromax, and Exit Spa have all come out onto the track at this point as well. So half the field on the circuit, half still in the pits. Now we see Shredder coming down pit lane. Sweden almost totally out of ERS when it comes to the line. They'll set at 33.902. Exit spot Aeromax, and this man here, Davis Dawn, will be the next one to cross. John, if he wants any attempt at stealing the championship, he needs to steal pole to get at least one more point. So 3 of our 4 drivers have set times thus far in the 34s. Only one's in the 33s. That is Sweden. What about Shredder? Through 19 and now into 20. Pops up in the DRS at the line, 35.308. So he is even slower. Peli and Zola will be the next 2 to cross. Invalidated for Zola. So the focus goes to Peli. Zola will likely dive into pit immediately to start prepping for his next run because he's only going to have time for one more. 34.6. That puts him ahead of Davis Dawn by about half a tenth. Torpedo now begins his lap. Still waiting on Sha'Carri to get there. It'll take Sha'Carri still the better part of a minute. Less than 5 minutes left in the session. If you want to get a lap going, or you want to go back-to-back lap attempts, you might as well get out there now. Torpedo with the track all to himself sets a 34.873. That's sixth best thus far. Sha'Carri set up purple sector 1. That's his best sector 1 thus far in the stint. No one tell him it's the only sector 1 he's done thus far in this stint. But Sha'Carri easily sat on top of the timesheets in Q2 when speed actually mattered. Anticipated to go right to the top, or at least near the top. I could very easily see him saying a 33.5. And he invalidates in turn 19! Oh, the humanity! And with only 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, I don't know if he's going to have enough time to complete the turnover and get another lap going. But Sha'Carri is going to make this extremely difficult for himself. His teammate Torpedo is on a... I don't think he's on a... No, he's on a cooldown lap. And there's no one else on circuit right now. So the track goes completely silent with 3 minutes left. All right, so now it begins. The rush to get your final lap in. Max looks like he'll make it to the line with about a minute left on the clock. And they have retired Torpedo, so the Red Bull camp is going to put all their focus on getting Sha'Carri up there as fast as possible. Still 5 drivers who aren't out on track yet, although Sha'Carri's just about out. DZ hasn't come out yet. Zola is finally out on circuit. Shredder has not come back out. I don't think they're going to try and put Shredder back out there. The top 5 all out on circuit right now. With a minute 50 left, this is going to be it. These, looks like 7 drivers will be going for it. Yeah, Haas has retired Shredder. They know they can't get him back out there and gain any more time. X. Second fastest thus far. Sweden sets on the top, but the big wild card is going to be Sha'Carri. We are anticipating that he will go right to the top, or at least to the front 2 rows, but he invalidated on his earlier attempt in turn 19. Cannot afford to do that again. Green flag's underway for Max. James John. Pelly exits the spot. Sha'Carri coming to the line to begin his lap shortly as well. Behind him is Sweden, and then Zola will be the last of the drivers to make it to the line. Air Max is now already invalidated, so he will not factor in. X hits the spot, is up, not by enough to overtake Sweden right now, but he is positioning himself to improve. Still not up by enough to overtake Sweden, but he is getting faster. DZ will not set a lap in this session. Out of the final corner, X goes to the top, 33.7. His teammate, James Don, has spun in 16, 17, 18. So focus now goes to Pelly. And behind him, Sha'Carri. What can Sha'Carri do? Will he go to the top like what's expected? I'm thinking a 33.4. Pelly spins out of the last corner. Sha'Carri, 33.6. And Sweden's not able to go any faster. What of Zola, the last man to set a time in the session? 134.753, so Sha'Carri steals pole position, exits the spot, starts second, Sweden third, Pelly fourth, James Don fifth, Zola sixth, Air Max seventh, Torpedo eighth, Shredder ninth, and Robbie Deasy did not get a lap in. He will start 10th. So there's your results. And Sha'Carri waits until the last possible moment to get a proper clean lap and edges out. Sweden and exits the spot for pole position. Only the top 4 within a second of him, and only the top 3 within a quarter of a second of him. All right. So during this wait until we get underway for the race itself, we will go ahead and look at the championship standings as they are right now. When it comes to manufacturers, McLaren has no representation. They have 116 points on the season right now, but none of their drivers showed up today. 9th is Williams with 140. 8th is Ferrari with 155 points. 7th is Aston Martin with 158. 6th is Mercedes with 166. 5th is AlphaTauri with 185. 4th is Red Bull with 187. 3rd is Haas with 191. 2nd is Alpine with 214. 1st is Alfa Romeo with 251. There are still a lot of points up to play, and technically all the manufacturers could take home points, but take home the title, but realistically, it looks like it's going to be a fight between Alfa Romeo, Alpine, and maybe Haas. In the Drivers' Championship, which is the one people care about more, this is what it looks like. 17th is XRL Edgar with 2. 16th is Robbie Deasy with 5. 15th is XRL Ollie with 7 points. 14th is XRL Lowe with 13 points. 13th is Adam Cage, 158 with 19. That's a jump. 11th and 12th are tied up. Samuel Petey and Rimskill both have 30 points even. 10th is CMP Official with 41 points. 9th is Airmax A841 with 54. 8th is Shredder with SRT Shredder with 58 points. 7th is Exit the Spot with 63 points. 6th is XRL Shikari with 65 points. 5th is Mr. Neon with 68 points. 4th is XRL Yun with 69 points. 3rd is XRL Trapio with 78 points. Javis John has leaped up into 2nd, 122 points. 50 out exactly from XRL Pelli, who has 172 points right now. At this stage, going into this race, there is 162 points up for grabs. Although one of them has already been awarded to Shikari. So it's 165 points up for grabs then. I'm sorry, 161 points up to grabs. All right. I'll be a little bit interested to see what the strategy is going to be. I'm anticipating medium to hards. X3 doesn't really give us any idea what we're looking at. All right, here we are. Underway. 14 drivers for our X2 race. And when it comes to tire compound, Shikari starting on mediums, Exit Spot starting on hards, Sweden, Pelli, and James starting on mediums, Zola and Airmax on hards, Torpedo on mediums, Shredder on hards, Robbie Deasy on mediums, Rim and CMP Official on hards, Edgar and Prodigy on mediums. So a not quite even split with a slight favoritism towards the medium starters. But this is not a bad idea in my opinion. to go ahead and not run what everyone says is going to be the dominant strategy. All right. Field finally gets lined up on the grid here. And here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. That's lights out, away we go. And Pelly has to deal with attack already from the Alpine Jamestown. Just Sweden is making a move from third onto the front row. Sweden trying to go for a lead on Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri's not giving me slack though. Contact behind, and Shredder drops all the way to the back after contact with the Red Bull, and that is Sweden who goes around at 1. So Sha'Carri leads without issue as exits the spot and Jamestown run behind, and Pelly, your championship leader, is 4th. Sweden is going to be absolutely livid after what happened there, guarantee it. Rip already putting his Ferrari into the points paying positions. Three wide under braking. And DZ cannot do anything to fight back as Edgar and Shredder go at it for the last points paying position now, as Rim is in 9th. Sha'Carri already opening a gap on X. But tire preservation is going to be keen here. Higher up, Zola and Airmax in a fight. Zola on the outside of Airmax as they dive into turn 1. Airmax has the position. Zola tries to cross over on exit. Side by side on the run downhill into turn 2. Airmax has the advantage still. Cuts down in front of Zola. Zola very stop and starty in the first few S's that time, so he doesn't run to the back of Airmax, and that kind of stacks the field up behind. Official has a run on Zola. He thinks of going to the inside under braking. He will look to it. But Zola on the outside has an easier run, putting power down. And that is Edgar who spins. While he was fighting for a point-paying position, he spins and Edgar falls to last on track. And Official and Zola neck and neck. Zola on the outside, but that turns into the inside here for these following corners. As Torpedo just behind on medium tires. These two are on hards, but Torpedo's on mediums that will be a little bit faster right now. Does look like Zola has the advantage over Torpedo. And you can see all four of these drivers all on top of each other right now through the 16, 17, 18 complex into 19. Oh! Didn't see that coming. Torpedo and Official involved in an instant, and Sweden now is up into 11th already after spinning lap 1, turn 2. And Shredder is now in 8th. But all 14 starters are still on track at this stage in the race, and Shredder very nearly runs in the back of Rim. That got a little tighter, I think anyone wanted it to be. At the front, Sha'Carri is just pacing himself, trying not to burn up the rubber, as X is just waiting for Sha'Carri's rubber to fall off so he can overtake him. As this race goes on, X's car will continue to get faster and faster. This fight here is a championship fight. As long as Pelly can see Davis John, he knows that he'll be good title-wise. As Official has had a spin in the S's. Oh, and Pelly's gotten by John down the back straightaway using DRS by the looks of it. And no one else seems to be in a position to use DRS for an overtake down the back straightaway this time. Rim is there behind Zola, but Zola is trying to run down Air Max so he can get... Oh, big twitch by Rim! And that will give a position to Shredder now. And now Robbie Deasy wants to get by the Ferrari. Deasy sandwiched between a pair of Ferraris. Rim ahead has harder tires, but this entire group has DRS on this man here, Shredder. Rim holding up behind the Haas, and Sweden has gotten by Arctic Prodigy with some DRS help, so Sweden is now already back into the points-paying positions. Zola's trying to stay away from Shredder, but Shredder is gaining through the S's just a bit. Shredder would love to get close enough to Zola so he can use DRS to deny the Ferrari behind any chance at catching him. Mind you, Zola, Shredder, and Rim all on hard tires, while Robbie Deasy and the drivers behind are on mediums. So Shredder close enough to get DRS that time. CMP Official accident, another spin in the S's, and almost the exact same part of their track. But it's a DRS train down the back straightaway. No one's able to make any moves until Deasy tries at the last minute, but just compromises himself. And now here comes Sweden to his inside. Aston Martin versus versus Mercedes. Aston Martin versus Mercedes, a little bit of contact, and it looks like Sweden is by. So Sweden already into the points-paying positions and flying through the grid right now while his tires are still good. He's come back from being about 7 seconds behind to now back into 9th. Granted, only having 14 drivers makes things a little easier. It's not as impressive as falling all the way back to 20th and making his way back up. But it is still incredible. Sweden now behind Rim. Alright, so Sweden has DRS this time on the Ferrari. And the Ferrari does not have DRS in defense. Will Sweden make the overtake under braking? Looks to the inside. And he's by. And farther up, Shredder got by Zola. And Zola now has a time penalty as well. So Sweden already up into 8th, and now he focuses on Zola, who has a time penalty. Big twitch by the Alfa Romeo ahead. Not a big twitch, that's just a bit of an exaggeration. More of a kind of a small twitch. Slide by DZ behind Rim, back there in the 10th position. Sweden is right there behind Zola. He looks to the inside. Denies the inside to Zola through the final corner. And has a great run going downhill. Oh, and Zola's around! Contact, and Zola goes around! And now Zola falls to 12th, and Sweden is already up into 7th. Might be a bit of a penalty post-race due to that. Farther up, Pelly has caught, exits the spot. Considering going for 2nd here, and for Jabez John, he needs X to hold that AlphaTauri up as much as he can if he wants any shot at stealing the driver's title. Shredder has pulled up behind Air Max. Sweden's not too far behind. And while Shredder does have the advantage in tires, Sweden and Shikari have been the 2 fastest men all day long. In addition, if Shredder can get by Air Max, he can run a bunch of laps in clean air. And that will really help with his tire life. Alright, Sweden has now caught Shredder. So if Shredder can't figure out a way by Air Max shortly, this could get bad for him. This fight for 8th, 9th, and 10th continues to stay hot. 11th is there as well now. That's Torpedo, and that's a spin! And the Ferrari hits the Mercedes twice. Somehow, they keep going. I'm curious if either of them have damage, though. No damage to the Ferrari, as far as I can tell. No damage to the Mercedes either. They will continue. As Sweden runs right behind Shredder. Shredder trying to make a move on Air Max. Air Max defends the inside. Shredder takes the outside. And Sweden's going to try and overtake Shredder. Coming out of the corner. Can't make it stick. Contact between Air Max and Shredder. Oh my goodness. And Sweden shoots by both of them. And now Air Max gets back by. And Shredder loses out, and Air Max keeps his position. Sweden side by side with him. Shredder is there as well, but Shredder can't commit. Gets a time penalty, just trying to follow. They're both by Air Max now. Sweden up into 5th. So Sweden, overcoming that self-inflicted spin earlier, has Shredder behind him. He defends to the inside. Shredder goes high. Contact! Out turn 1, and Shredder is back ahead. Both of them have already left Air Max in the dust. He might be able to close back in a bit in the S's. We'll see. Wow, look at that speed. And if he doesn't get him here, he'll have DRS on the back straightaway. And should easily be fast enough to overtake the Haas down the back. Pelly gets by, exits the spot farther up. X is fighting back. But Pelly has the inside line in the next few corners, and that will give him the advantage. Sweden already by Shredder before they even get under braking. Shredder lunges forward under braking. Can't make it stick though. Sweden up into 5th for solid now. X follows behind Pelly for 2nd. X is on hard tires that will last longer, but now that Pelly's in clean air, that may not matter. Seems like the mediums just really aren't falling off at all. Yeah, the mediums just do not seem to be falling off at all today. Sweden, just far enough ahead of Shredder. I think that will negate Shredder's DRS. And you get to continue to focus forward, especially now that it's clean track ahead. Next driver that he'll have to catch will be the Alpine of Jabez John, who is nearly 8 seconds up the road. Pelly, meanwhile, about 4 3/4 out from Sha'Carri, who is leading. And Sha'Carri has been washing his tires this entire time. DZ has made a stop the prior lap. He has swapped from mediums to hards, and he'll run his hards to the end. And Edgar also has made a stop to throw on a set of hards as well. We have stayed green these first 9 laps. We just not really had any major incidents on track. Shredder is getting a DRS off of Sweden, but all these guys here, they're all within DRS range of each other, but they're not close enough to actually make any moves with that DRS. Shredder closes in a bit on Sweden, but not enough to really do anything. Sweden just trying to chop down the gap between himself and Jabez John up ahead. X still runs within the DRS detection range of Pelly and can still hound the AlphaTauri who runs 2nd. Not close enough, though, to do anything down the front straightaway. Sweden continues to race towards Jabez John, and he's been dragging Shredder with him. Shredder is staying just within the DRS range of Sweden. Again, if you're just joining us, no yellow flags, no VSCs. We may have started this race a little bit late, but we're on track to finish a bit ahead of schedule, actually, simply because of the blistering pace that's been going. But I'm curious as to how Sweden's pace will drop off once he throws on the hard tires. Likewise, I'm curious about X hits the spot. When he throws on mediums, will he become faster or not? How's a rhyme? Sweden again closes significantly on... You see Shredder again closes significantly on Sweden down the back straightaway within half a second under braking. But not close enough to do anything. Sweden continuing to try and bite into Jabez John's advantage over him, and he is taking it apart, but it's taking a lot longer than he wants it to. And Sha'Carri is pitting out of the lead. So Sha'Carri pits on lap 10. Once off his mediums, he will throw on the hards to go to the end of this race. So Pelly becomes our new race leader, and Sweden is going to pit as well. So Sweden, along with Sha'Carri, both say, hey, look, I've used these mediums up too much. Time to go to the hards. So for Pelly and X at the spot, they need to be putting down some great laps now to counter whatever is done by... Oh, wow. Sweden falls all the way to 10th, actually, and Arctic Prodigy still is in 11th. He'll probably stay there. But Sha'Carri is 5th now behind Shredder. Shredder on worn hards. Sha'Carri on fresh hards. And in addition, Sha'Carri has Airmax behind, who also is on worn hards. Sha'Carri can't keep pace with Shredder right now, though. Did something happen to Pelly? Pelly may have had something happen. He has fallen behind the Alpines. Did he spin or something? Edgar has just had to spin in turn 17. But Pelly may have had something go wrong, and he has fallen behind the Alpines that lead at the moment. And that will bring Shredder within 3.5 seconds of him. But more notably, Shikari, one of the fastest men all day, is right there behind Shredder. It took Sweden forever to get by Shredder and get away from him. Shikari, on better tires, I don't know how much better he's going to be able to fare. Pelly pits out third. That's Robbie Deasy, who's just had an instant, a spin by the looks of it, coming off of the back straightaway. Shikari goes to the inside of Shredder. Shredder, how much is he going to force the issue? He can't. Tires aren't there. So Shikari's already back into third. Looks like Shikari is basically impossible to overtake right now, I would argue. Maybe Sweden could do it, but Sweden, trying to recover from a lap 1 spin, is currently buried in 10th behind Pelly. Mind you, Pelly was fighting for a high spot, so Sweden is absolutely getting great use out of his, got great use out of his tires in the first stint. And that's Edgar, who has now had another instant there in Sector 3, the start of Sector 3. Here comes Sweden to the inside of Pelly. Easy overtake. Nothing that Pelly can do to defend, it seems. Farther up, Torpedo runs behind Air Max. But it looks like this is going to be Shikari's race to lose. Davis John pits out a second now. Shikari's just at the fastest lap of the race on those relatively fresh hards. Not worn, I don't know why I said worn. Shredder has lost touch with him completely. We don't know when X is going to stop, though. So everyone, with the exception of Edgar, who is last, is now on some variant of hard tires. 4 of the top 5 are on worn hards. But keep an eye on Sweden. He now sees Zola ahead. He overtook Zola earlier, but there was contact and Zola went around in it. Onto the back straightaway. Zola is close enough to have DRS on Davis John ahead. So for now, Davis John is actually well ahead of Pelly. I'm convinced that Pelly had a spin or something coming onto the back straightaway that I did not see. Big thing for Sweden is how long is it going to take him to get by Zola, because Zola has DRS off of Davis John ahead. But John has better tires and might be able to outrun Zola. And if Zola loses DRS, that will help Sweden significantly. Pelly runs behind Sweden at the moment. Edgar gets a time penalty in 14th. But frankly, that's not going to matter too much because he's a lap down. Well, this should be an easy overtake. Zola's not going to make it easy, though. He fights back on the outside, and he backs out. Now he's going to be holding up Pelly as they go into the S's, though. Sweden with a time penalty, and that will derail his race. So yeah, Shikari's going to win this race by default now, because just no one's able to keep pace with him. Between the Mercedes, there's a fight. Easy and CMP official fighting for a non-points position. It looks like Official has it for now. But yeah, Sweden's recovery drive has basically been derailed. He has no chance to finish higher than, I think, 5th or 6th right now. And DZ has had a spin in the S's. Zola, Pelly, neck and neck for that position. Zola fights back on the outside, which turns into the inside, but the tires are too worn. He can't put the power down fast enough to fight back against Pelly. So Pelly is by Zola. Torpedo is gotten by Arctic Prodigy farther back, with slightly fresher rubber on his car. The field spread out now. Shredder pitting with 14 laps to go. So he's split this race about as close to half as you can. And he'll throw on a set of mediums to the end now. What about X and Air Max, who run first and third? When do they make their stop? Sha'Carri, who's second, is closing down on X, but X will have an advantage. One other thing I just thought of. Fuel. X at the spot needs to save fuel. Sha'Carri is good on fuel to the end, though. Air Max needs to save fuel. Rim is good on fuel. Javis John is good on fuel. Sweden is good on fuel. Pelly is good on fuel. Zola is good on fuel. Shredder is good on fuel. Torpedo is good on fuel. Prodigy is good on fuel. CMP Official is bad on fuel. DZ is good. And Edgar is good on fuel. So fuel may come into play here. And this could be big news for X, who is down on his fuel numbers at the moment. No yellow flags, not even a virtual safety car. This likely is going to mean that Sha'Carri is going to win this race by default. Because the closest person to him on track, X, is in fuel conservation mode, and Air Max, who is ranked third, is also in fuel conservation mode right now. Yellow flag, sector 1, that's for DZ. Robbie DZ. And X pitting out of the lead now. So this will give Sha'Carri the top spot back, and he will walk this to the end, we are anticipating. Because while X at the spot will be faster on faster tires and the car will be a bit lighter due to having less fuel, X needs to save fuel to the end of this race. Zola pits now out of 8th, so that will drop him potentially out of the points-paying positions as Arctic Prodigy and Torpedo continue their slug for what will now become 9th. Sha'Carri now has a time penalty. Oh, that makes things a bit more interesting. Not that much more, though, because X is so far back he can't really do anything. But if there's a yellow, that will put Sha'Carri on a bad foot. Sweden runs behind Javis John. Javis John is following Rimsko, though. Rim is on worn-out hard tires. John and Sweden are on fresher ones. Mind you, Pelly is behind Sweden as well. Here comes John, opening up the DRS to try and get by Rim going down the back straightaway. Pulls away from Sweden a bit as he does so, and the overtake is in the books. Rim charges back on the outside. Sweden trying to follow. Same thing we saw when he was trying to get by Air Max and Shredder earlier. Worked out for Sweden then. Not going to work out this time. Contact. I don't know if there's any damage to Sweden's machine, though. But there is most definitely contact between the two. You could hear it. And Rim pits. Air Max pits as well. So Javis John moves up into 3rd. Sweden moves up into 4th. Pelly moves up into 5th. But Sweden has a time penalty, and that will move Pelly up one more spot. So in John's quest to try and run down Pelly late in the season for a title, it's not looking good because Pelly will finish right behind him in the points with the way this race is going. Arctic Prodigy and Torpedo continue their fight for 8th and 9th. And mind you, that's Air Max right in front of them, who's on fresh mediums trying to get those tires up to speed. Prodigy invalidates his lap now. That'll give Air Max a significant advantage. Not only does he have fresher rubber and faster rubber, He has no time penalty, so he should ideally be able to outrun these two. Torpedo doesn't want to let him outrun him. He's charging back. He's going to have DRS. He's going to try and overtake him before they even get to the corner, and then try to outrun him down the back straight without DRS. Oh, and DZ's crashed out. Is that a yellow? Full course yellow is out. Oh, wow, that Mercedes is right in the middle of the racing line. Sha'Carri stays out on track. Exits the spot, now will have a very significant advantage. No worry about fuel, and he will now have... Oh, he's pitting. So exits the spot, pits, probably a throw on softs, I guess, or another set of mediums. When they go green, we're going to be looking at about 8 laps to go or so. Yeah, another set of mediums. James John pits as well. Sweden stays out on Warren Hards. Edgar gets a time penalty for track violations. So Sha'Carri, Sweden, Shredder now ahead of the Alpines of exits the spot. Pelly overtakes James John for a moment, and then Pelly is going to get back by. John is going to be back in front of Pelly, though. Well, this will be a mess. Exits the spot is in 4th with fresh medium tires. But, although the 3 people ahead of him have time penalties, he can't just rely on time penalties to give him what he needs. Also, X now does not have to worry about fuel anymore. The drivers in front of him, Sha'Carri and Sweden, are now considered will now be considered overfueled. For Air Max, this will also help him with his fuel numbers as well. So yeah, everyone will now make it here on the fuel that they have. That's an Alfa Romeo Zola pitting farther back now. Real quick, as I look at the time penalties, 3 seconds is the norm, although Edgar in 13th has 12 seconds, but he is a lap down, so that doesn't really matter. Also, Arctic Prodigy pitting again. So I guess they figured that soft tires are not the way to go? No, they just put on another set of softs. Okay. Don't know what's going on there. But Prodigy will be iffy when it comes to his rubber to the end of this race. Top 8 have all caught up. Torpedo still has yet to catch the back of the field. This should also put Official just on the line of making it when it comes to fuel. Arctic Prodigy will have nice, hot, soft tires when we finally do go green. So Sha'Carri leads the field. And there's the word, safety car in this lap. So we'll go green with 9 laps to go. Sha'Carri and Sweden, the 2 fastest men all day, are up front, but they're on worn hard tires. Shredder is there third with medium tires that will be faster but they'll be a little bit rough near the end. Exits the spot, is the lightest of everyone on track. He is fourth with no time penalties and fresh rubber. How does Sha'Carri back up the field? How does Sweden react? That is the question. As they come out of turn 19, everything comes down to Sha'Carri. And the AlphaTauri of Pelly is pitting. So that will have some major championship implications as we are... No, that was Edgar, not Pelly. I take that back. And we are underway. And Sweden got caught off guard by Sha'Carri just a bit as they went green. Edgar retires in the pits. Airmax, Rimsco fighting for sixth as they run down through turn 2. Rim has the position over Airmax. X, though, has fresh medium tires, no time penalties. He needs to start making hay now before Sha'Carri gets away from him. Shredder pressuring Sweden. And while that happens, Sha'Carri is scooting away. No DRS this lap. DRS won't kick in until lap 22. But draft is in Shredder's favor. He looks to the inside. Thinks better of it, but he left the room open for X to pull alongside, though. Airmax, Jabus John fighting farther back, and Pelly is there. Right behind John. If Pelly can keep John in his sights, it will help defend his title. Pelly does not need to finish high. He just needs to finish around John or ahead of John, and it'll help his title chances. X is already by Shredder. So Shredder has fallen behind X's spot. Now X sets his sights on Sweden. He has better tires than Sweden, and the car is going to be a little bit lighter. So this should work out in X's favor. Right underneath the rear wing of that Aston Martin. And Sha'Carri is trying to scoot away as fast as he can. Yellow flag, that's Rim who has spun. Coming into the S's. Oh, the front wing is destroyed on that car, and that is a full course safety. That is a virtual safety car, not full course. That is a virtual safety car. So a virtual safety car as Rim crashes out of the top 10 positions. So once again, neither of the Ferraris are in the top 10. This helps out X just a bit because it keeps Sha'Carri from running away from Sweden. That means that X can stay right there behind Sweden. On virtual safety car to say the least. And there we are. Green flag and DRS is enabled, so DRS will kick in going down the back straightaway. X wants to get by Sweden before they even get there. Sweden squeezes him on the curbs. Now he has to be careful of Shredder behind. But I don't think Shredder is in a position to properly fight back. Rim will throw on some soft tires and go for fastest lap point. CMP official and Torpedo both get time penalties now. X continues to run right behind Sweden through the S's. DRS will be in his favor going down the back straightaway. Sweden is not close enough to Sha'Carri to use DRS as a defense. Sweden defends the inside. X going to go high. Wow, what in the devil? X did it! Sweden tried going a little bit too aggressively, and Sweden is given the spot back by X. X gives the spot back, because he says, hey, that wasn't any good, and he very nearly loses it. Shredder hits him from behind now. And that helps Sha'Carri out a ton. Alright, so X needs to try again, but Sweden very aggressive on the defense, swerving back and forth on the back straightaway at high speeds. But X will have DRS again going down the front straight. I don't think he's close enough to make use of it. Other fights in the field. Air Max stays ahead of Jabazon for the moment. Pelly runs behind. And then CMP official Torpedo, Zola, and Arctic Prodigy all on top of each other in this massive fight from 6th to 11th, all kind of in a giant DRS train tucked up behind Air Max. The main fight of interest is for the lead. Mind you, Arctic Prodigy is on soft tires. He is right there behind Zola, but I don't know if his softs are going to be in good position by the time this race is over. Alright, X again will be within DRS range of Jess Sweden. A third of a second. Quarter. A fifth. Sweden defends the inside and then swerves wide to try and pinch off X. Contact. This time Sweden makes contact with X. Oh, and Jabazon is fighting with Air Max. And he's by him. X is definitely faster than Sweden. Thing is, you can only make overtakes on the back straightaway right now, it seems. The only good news is that for X is that right now he is still within time penalty distance of Sha'Carri, but that's not going to last much longer. This could be it, though. Down the front straightaway. X on the outside. Sweden inside. It's over. X is by. Sweden's going to try and fight back on the outside. Contact! And he wrecks him! And they wreck both of each other! Right in front of the field! And it looks like everyone's getting... No, they will not! Oh! And that, my friends, is why you have a Halo and Sweden out of it. This will be good news for Rim, as he will get a chance to jump back into a points fighting position. All right, coming in at party now is Jess Sweden. Sweden, go ahead and include your audio. Bizarro day, what do you have to say about what happened there?
It was going well, and then it didn't go well. Got on the yellow bumps there and just spun it, lost control. Couldn't get it into reverse and died.
Yeah, you definitely show us why we have the Halo. What about your run up through the field? You started on the front. You started third, got up to second, spun out of 2, and then recovered all the way back up as high as third. So, what was that drive back through the field like?
Oh, it was very fun, especially with Shredder. Fighting with Shredder was incredible.
All right. Well, anything else in general you want to say? I mean, we are under yellow flag. We have the time, so.
I hope it's a clean restart and everyone gets a chance to race, because 3 laps to go. It's essentially a sprint to the line. We have Shredder in first, but he does have that 3 seconds, so we will see what happens.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. Shame to see you knocked out like this. Hopefully things go better for you next week at Mexico.
Hopefully, but we'll see. It was a fun race either way. I'm not disappointed that I got knocked out. That was of my own doing, not someone else's.
All right, well, it's always glad to hear someone be honest when something like that happens. Thanks for jumping in and talking with us, mate.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, so things, yep. So things are going to get interesting. Shredder leads on worn medium tires, and he has a time penalty. Javis John is right behind him with slightly fresher mediums, no time penalty. Air Max is third. Tires are only slightly more worn than Javis's, no time penalty. CMP Official, who was out of the points about 10 laps ago, runs fourth. He does have a time penalty, though. I think he has a bunch of time penalties, actually 6 seconds worth. So things aren't looking good for him. Pelly is fifth right now, no time penalty. Exits the spot is 6. He has actually, not taken any damage in that accident. No time penalty. Shikari is 7th, though. He has time penalties. In fact, everyone 7th on down have time penalties, but they all are also on fresh, soft rubber. I don't know what exactly they're thinking they're going to do, because we're going to go green with only 2 laps to go, I think. This looks like it will be Javis John's win. The question is just going to end up being, where does Pelly finish? Because this could be the best chance that Javis John has to further close the gap down in points. But Pelly is there in 5th. There's Exits the Spot, who's been faster most of the day, faster in the latter part of this day behind him. And then a whole hunk of cars on soft tires even farther back. Although those all have soft tires, they could end up holding Pelly up, either causing Pelly to get bottled up and dropping farther down the field, or cause Pelly to get time penalties of his own, trying to fight to defend. There will be no DRS on this restart. It's going to be a sprint to the end. And tires will be everything. I feel real bad for Shredder, because while he leads, he is going to have nothing, I mean nothing, that he can do to keep John behind him except ERS usage. And then even at that, Shredder has a time penalty while John does not. Shredder basically needs John and everyone behind to crash on this restart so Shredder can walk away. And honestly, that could happen, but I don't see it happening. I'm more interested that Shikari actually went ahead and threw on soft tires. I guess he figured that it would be better if he was on fresher rubber with the time penalty trying to run up the field than on old rubber at the front of the field trying to keep everyone behind. So Shredder will lead the field to the restart, but it is Javis John who is positioned to win and further close, or at least attempt to further close the gap he has on Pelly in the title fight. Safety car officially will be coming in this lap, so we'll go green with 2 laps to go. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. If you see something, yeah, go ahead and cut me off. Yeah, you can go ahead and include. So, yeah, sweet. And I have no problem if you want to stick with me to the end. It's only going to be 2 laps here, so.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting Shikari decided to pit even with, penalties. He still would have had Shredder in between him and Javis John there, so. Yeah,
everyone who's on softs has time penalties, so I don't really know what the strategy going on there is. Now, they're going to be faster than Pelly and X, but they're not going to be in a position to just, blitz by. So, and then, because they're going to lose right afterwards. Yeah, you're not going to make up 2 laps of full pace, not unless Pelly or X or some other people near the front have some incidents.
And it's green flag, Shredder off the start.
Shredder waiting until the last possible moment, really sponges the field up. It's a chaos near the back. And Shikari is already by X.
Wow, that's like Mugello from 2020. Wow.
Oh, they're 3 wide, and here comes Rim. Oh, there's contact everywhere. CMP
X
official is by Air Max.
X is down at the back. That is really unfortunate for X. CMP up to 3rd.
Yeah, he has a time penalty that he's trying to outrun, though. Javis John keeping pace with Shredder. John knows that if he just stays behind Shredder, he'll win this race by default. Shikari putting pressure on Pelly right now. And Pelly is right behind Air Max.
Shredder already 3 seconds ahead of Shikari. Shikari is not going to make up the time here.
Oh, wow, here comes Rim to the inside of Shikari.
Shredder could still be on for a podium if he gaps Air Max enough. Actually, he is going to be on for a podium because CMP has 3 seconds. Shredder's still going to get a podium out of this, ladies and gentlemen.
Shikari and Rim are spending so much time fighting that they can't do anything to Pelly. And I don't think they realize that they're fighting like this means that X will make the positions back up against them. Shikari back by Rim now. He sets his sights on Pelly again.
Obviously, there's going to be no DRS going into the final lap because they just came out from under safety car.
Yellow flag farther back. That's X. So X will not factor in.
X has just had a horrible race today on that restart.
Yeah, one of the fastest men all day, but it's just gone completely bad for him.
Yeah, that's just rotten luck.
Pelly trying to stay ahead of Shikari. Shikari looks to the inside into one. Will he make the move? No, he does not.
If Shredder can stay 3 seconds ahead of Pelly, he gets 3rd place.
And the way that Shikari is fighting with Pelly, it's definitely going to be hard because Pelly's also being held up by Air Max as well. Air Max is not keeping pace with the top 3 at all. Well, he is, but not enough.
Javis John was minding his own business in second, not trying to fight with
Shikari,
Shredder.
another time penalty.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. At this point, it's just all guns blazing. Javis John's had a clean race today. He's been fast all race.
Pelly! Your championship points leader gets touched by Shikari and spins! And Pelly falls to 10th!
Wow.
Major championship implications! Because the man who is second in the championship is Javis John!
Javis John going to benefit hard from that. And Shredder is still going to manage to get a podium, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it?
Well, it's not over yet because Air Max still has Shikari behind him. Shikari now spins! Now Shikari spins! He saves the car, but he's going to drop way down the order. And CMP Official is there behind Javis John. So I think Official is going to come home something like 4th or 5th despite running most of the day outside of the points.
And Shredder comes through the final turn to take the
win
on track.
Pelly will not finish in the points at all. And Javis John will take home the victory. Air Max comes home 2nd. Shredder 3rd. Rim 4th. CMP Official will come home 5th. Arctic Prodigy 6th. So the Ferraris who are outside of the points on the restart will be 4th and 6th. Zola 7th. Torpedo 8th. Shikari 9th. Exits the spot 10th. Pelly, no points, 11th. And Javis John will cut a 50-point lead in half.
Wow.
The championship fight is on.
Wow, what a ending to a race. Wow, wow, wow.
And Javis John, who for so much of the day was not quite on the level of Pelly, will walk out with the win, while Pelly is only going to get 1 point by the looks of it. 1 point for fastest lap, because XRL awards a point for fastest lap outside of the top 10, point for fastest lap inside of the top 10.
Wow.
Unless you took fastest lap point, you might have actually had fastest lap point outside of the top 10.
I wasn't as fast as Shikari, so either Shikari or Pelly took it, I think.
Well, Shikari's in the top 10, you're out of the top 10, so you might get the point for fastest lap of everyone out of the top 10. So.
Faster than Pelly, so yeah, I get the fastest lap point. Pelly coming home with nothing after being in a prime position to get a podium at the end of this race. He comes away with nothing. That's gotta hurt.
It's incredible the stuff that happens here.
Yeah. Wow. Ferrari P4 and P6, that was really impressive considering where they started. P11 and 14 to come home 4th and 6th. With a 3-stop and a 4-stop strategy. Wow.
And mind you, one of those Ferraris went right under your car when you were backwards on the track as well.
Yeah, I just couldn't find reverse.
Alright, coming into the party now are some of our top finishers. Still trying to get Javis John into the party here. Alright, real quickly I want to talk with Air Max. Air Max, go ahead, include your audio. Shredder, horrible echo from your end.
That's Pelly.
Oh. Air Max, can you hear me? All right, make sure your audio is included. Fantastic drive, coming home second, mate. What do you have to say about that run today? Yes, I hear you.
Included my order. Yeah, quite eventful. A lot of people spinning in front, so I just tried to don't spin and do as fast as I could. So yeah, pretty good. Best result so far.
All right, well, second place finish here. There's a few races left in the season. Do you think you can steal the win?
No, I think the guys are too far. I mean, unless something happened in front of me, I could capitalize. But yeah, feels good, man. If I could keep up with top 5, I'm happy.
All right. Great job, mate. Shame to see it wasn't a win, but you put on a great performance. I want to talk real quickly to X. It's the spot here. X, not a great finish for you. You will finish in the points, but you were on merit in contention for the win until your incident with Sweden there that brought the final accident. What happened in that scenario from your perspective?
Look, man, I'm not gonna say too much here. I'm just gonna say, yeah, it was a good race up until that point. Just some pretty bad defensive moves, and unfortunately, I caught the bad end of it. So it is what it is. I'm always on pace. I'm always in contention. So on to the next one.
All right. Well, at least you keep your head up going forward. Hopefully things rebound for you next week at Mexico. All right, I want to talk with our third place finisher, Shredder. Shredder, you crossed the line first, but time penalties take the win away from you. Very interesting race from your perspective, at least from what I saw. What would you describe your race as?
Yeah, as per usual, I'm shocking in qualifying. Race pace is where most of my stuff's at. Unfortunately, I'm not really a fan of Kota, so I was cutting most of the corners and got a top three second penalty quite early on. So I had to deal with that, and then I got lucky-ish with the safety cars and sort of the fact that I can keep a set of tyres for much longer than anyone else, it seems, and without any feel of drop-off or anything. And then just try to be into the absolute. For the first restart, I got wedged behind Sweden a little bit, lost the place there, and they did a bit of a kerfuffle together and shot past them. Then second restart, got a little bit more lucky with the fact that whatchamacallit pitting from the lead for softs. I had a free track ahead, so I knew if I could smack a big enough lead over the people who haven't got penalties, could have a good shot at podium here, and just about eked into a third. But at the end.
All right, well, you will significantly improve Haas's manufacturer championship run here. Do you think it's possible? Because right now it seems like you're a solo effort in Haas. Do you think it's possible that you could take home a manufacturer championship for Haas with your performance?
Solo, no chance. Drivers with two teams. Teams with two drivers have a way bigger chances of holding their things. Where are we at in things? We're third.
We have like we have like 5 more
I'm
races
60
left,
points
so.
behind. We've got 5 races left, and Luke, the main for Alpine, Jeebus, and X, they're some rocket lads. So, and I've got to get at 25 just to catch them, and that's going to be, depending on if Ollie shows up or not for the races, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to get up to him.
All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Great job, irregardless, mate. Let's see if you can replicate this or even better next week at Mexico.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to talk with one other person who did not bring home any points as far as we can tell. Pelly, go ahead and include your audio. Championship leader through the majority of the season, Pelly. You had a 50-point lead over Jabez John coming into this race. It looks like you're only going to leave with half of that. Can you stop the bleeding and still take home the title before the season is over? All right. Well, it definitely made it interesting. Hopefully, you can kind of turn things around a bit to make it a proper fight to the end of the season. All right, and now I want to talk with our race winner, Jabus John. Jabus, top 4 pace all day long. In the end, you took home a win. You cut Pelly's lead in the title in half. You bring home a great point stay for Alpine. Well, how about it, man? Do you think you got a chance for a championship here? Jabus, can you hear me? Okay, he was in the party earlier, but he seemed to have dropped out of the party somehow. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to be able to hear from Jabus then. In that case, that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Circuit of the Americas. A very interesting and intense race. Anyways, I've been your host, People Insanely 13. Next week, XRL will take to the circuit at Mexico. Until then, have a good time, everyone. Thank you, and goodbye.